Hello, lovely people. We are back live. Bear with me 1 minute because I can see issues with our sound. So bear with me 1 minute, guys. The joys of online technology. We've not been online for a little while. And as always, the technology likes to flummox us. So bear with me 1 minute while I just sort that out. Right. Hang on. The joy. So I hope everybody's well and having a good Tuesday. I know the last couple of weeks have been like really hot, haven't they? So I'm going to see if I can find some headphones just to take out the noise. I've got some right here. Right, hopefully you can all hear me. Fab. So, lovely people of the online world, we are streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. And every month now, we are going to be doing an afternoon of crafting on a Tuesday. And you can join us. And what we tend to do is a little while before we post up the materials that you'll need. And also, if you need to get in touch with us and you need some resources, you can do that. And we can send that to you in the post. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to switch the cameras. So we've just got our lovely resources here. Okay. Here we go. Hopefully you can see that. So I've got dual cameras today, all the technology keeping us going. There we go. So hopefully you can see my materials just here. Ta-da. So we're going to be doing some dot mandalas, okay? So I'm going to try, see if I can put myself in the corner. Oh, no, that's not the one I want. There we go. So you can still see me. And you can also see what I'm going to be doing. So I put a list out online a couple of weeks ago, and I've been sending little reminders if you want to join in with our Crafternoon. So this week we're doing dot mandalas. So I've got my materials here. So I've got some paint. So I've just got a random selection here. So I've got a mix of acrylic and poster. So you can use whatever you've got at home, whatever is easiest for you. I've got my palette. I've got a canvas. I've also got a rock because you can do some rocks as well. I have got pencil. I've got a scrap piece of paper which I'm just going to use as kind of like my paper towel or rag. I've also got some toothpicks, which are really good dotting tools. So I've got some of those there. And I've got some actual dotting tools and a paintbrush as well. It's really handy to have a glass of water up here, but I'm improvising today because I've had to switch locations. The joys of online Crafternoon. Okay. So we are going to make a start. So when we do our dot mandala, I'm going to move everything else out of the way. There we go. Just so you guys can see. There we go. Move the camera down a bit. There we are. And if you're joining us online, please say hello. So we're on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. So you can put in the comments, say hi. If you've got any questions as we go along, please give us a shout. So basically what we want to do is kind of create a little design for ourselves. Hello, Michaela. And I know, Michaela, I dropped off a kit to you. Oh. So you want to kind of create a basic sort of design. So a lot of these mandala patterns, they generally follow kind of like a geometric pattern. So if you want to be really precise, you can use a ruler and do it that way. I like a freestyle. Oh, you're very welcome, Michaela. I'm glad you got it all right. So I'm going to start from one of the corners if you're doing it on a canvas. You could also do this on cards. You can do this on just anything that's got a little bit of substance to it. If you do it on paper, it tends to be a little bit flimsy. But if it's a thick paper or a card, this works well. I've done this on like cards that you give to somebody, like as a birthday or a thank you card, something like that. It works really well. So I'm just starting from one corner. I'm just drawing a rough line. Okay. Now, if you wanted, I could use my paint palette. You could just draw a proper line. I like a bit of improvisation. That's what I'm all about. So if you've never joined before for Crafternoon, what Crafternoon is all about is a chance for the community to come together, do a little bit of making, have a little chat, and practice something what I like to call creative well-being and creative self-care, because our mental health is really important, and having that time and space for ourselves is also really important. So having a little time where we do a little crafting, have a little chat, connect with each other is kind of what Crafternoon is all about. So we're going to do this every month. So I've drawn my line. All I'm going to do is just draw some curved lines going all the way up. So the lines will get bigger as we go along. So it's going to go across. And this just gives us a base. You can make these lines as much as like spaced out as you like. So hopefully you can see. Creates a bit like a spider's web. And it's just a bit of guidance. So you don't have to press hard on your pencil. And what we're going to do when we kind of start creating our designs is we're going to do different size dots. So what I'm going to do is create different size gaps in between my lines as well. So you kind of get that feeling, that vibe, if you like. So you've got something a little bit like this. Now I'm going to kind of put another line in, because again, it just gives you a little bit of structure. And as we start to put our dots in, you're going to get rid of these. So we're just going to start from that corner again. It's kind of like creating a bit of a spider's web. Okay, again, if you want to use a ruler, you can do. It's totally up to you. And obviously, because we're going live, then the videos will remain on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. So if you couldn't join us at 12 o'clock today, but you wanted to have a go, you can join us anytime. And if you have any questions, you can still put comments in the videos. I'll still catch them. It just might be not as live, not as quick. So you can see that I've kind of done those lines there. There you go. And you can do as many or as few as you like. It's just kind of like dividing up your canvas. If you're doing this on a rock, you're just doing this on a smaller scale. And if you like, you can also look online and see how other people have done these different designs, because there's lots of different ways of doing this. There's ones where you can do it. I'm just going to use this piece of paper where they've done it from like a circle in the middle, and they go round and round and round. So there's lots of ways you can do it. So got my design here. I'm just going to bring the camera down just so you can see a little bit better. Here we go. Get the camera to focus in. Okay, so you've got like your central point is like here. This is kind of roughly where our design is going to begin. Okay. So then it's time to choose our colours. So I'm going to pop that there a moment. Get my paint. So like I said, I've got some acrylic and I've got a bit of poster paint. Either will do, whatever you've got at home, whatever colours you fancy. You can mix up colours, whatever you like. So I'm just doing I've got some red, some green, I've got some like mustard yellow, I've got some white and black, so I'm going to kind of see where it goes. I'm thinking I might do like a gradient type thing. Got some white. I think I might leave the black for the time being. Okay, so then I've got my brush. My top tip: when you take paints out, always give them a little mix as well. So have a think about how you want your design to look. So think about your colours. Think about how you want to put it in place. There we go. So you can see my canvas as well there. So I'm going to have a little think. And what you can do, if you've got a scrap piece of paper or you've got your rag or your kitchen towel, you can always just have a little play. Thinking about how you're going to use those colours. So I'm definitely going to use this mustard. I might go for this red. And I can do a little bit of blending. So I'm just having a little play about with the colours as well. And obviously you can use a bit of the white. I mean, obviously I'm not washing by brush at the moment, but obviously I would advise you do it in between. So you kind of got like a tonal thing going, and you can make it as gradual or as distinctive, right? You can make it more contrasty. So you can have a little play. So if I wanted to do something a bit different, so I could have green. So that's kind of blended. So the good thing about kind of having separate brushes, actually these are really good. So these are little dotting tools, and some of them have brushes on the end. You can see that. So you've got a dot tool on one end. And what you can do, so you've got more of a distinctive colour. Apologise for that sound. What I'm going to do as we excuse me. Just trying to stop that squeaking. And my speakers decided to make a noise. How rude. So hopefully you can have a little play about with your colours and things like that. So I think I'm going to go for more this colour tonal here. So if you have dotting tools, fantastic. I know, Michaela, I sent you one. If you don't, there's lots of different things that you can use. So I've got some toothpicks. You can use end of pencils. You've got like these sort of tools where you've got a really solid shape. Anything that you can kind of create that circular shape with, okay? So you can decide what size you want, how you want to create that. Do you want a full circle? Do you want half circles? That sort of thing. So I'm going to start off with a bit of red. So I've got this big tool here, okay? So I'm just going to take some of the excess off, let's say. And you get a sense of how that dot will create, okay? And then I'm going to go for like a half sort of circle on there. Can you see how that then comes in? Okay. What I like this, it's a nice simple craft, but actually it's really effective. So I always like to start off with quite a bold one, and then I start to use some of the smaller tools. So I'm just going to lean that on there. Stay on there. Okay, So you can use toothpicks, like I said, end of pencils, brushes. So that end of your brush would be really good. It's got a really good shape. So you can do lots of different things. Now, if you have any questions, guys, as we're going along, please do ask away. So I'm going to mix some colours. I'm going to add a bit of yellow here. Okay. And I'm going to get my dot tool. I'm just going to mix it around in there. So you want a good amount on there. I'm mixing it all the way around. So you can see on the dot tool, you've got quite a bit of paint. Okay. So what I'm going to do, these lines that we've drawn in, they're some of our guides. So I'm going to start to use that. And just a couple of dabs. And you start to get your dots. So what I'm going to do is actually mix up a bit more paint. Always find good to have more paint than not enough in these situations. So obviously we are going to be streaming for about an hour. If you want, you can put excess paint on your dot tool. But obviously if you want to carry on, totally go for it. I'm just going to dot. So the more sort of pressure you put on, sometimes the bigger the dot you get. So dotting it a few times, again it builds up the paint and it can increase the dot that you get. Okay, so I'm just going to go across this line. I do like a craft that's got a bit of repetition in it. And if you find any of your dots aren't quite how you like, you can go back over them. You can just neaten them up. And so this is your artwork, so you do it how you like. Good thing with Crafternoon is there's no right and wrong. So I'm just going to use my scrap paper just to take the excess of that. I think I'm going to put something in between here because there's a bit of a gap in between. Yeah. So let me have a look at what tools I've got. I think I might actually use the end of my paintbrush. So I'm going to go straight in for the yellow. And I'm going to go in between. Straight in. So I'll turn this around so you guys can see. Okay, so you start to build up your pattern. Just going around the edges so it kind of matches my pattern. Again, you can start to build up your design. So I'm going to go in with this yellow and I'm going to go up here. I'm going to make these circles a bit bigger. So I'm just moving the paintbrush around and just give you that bigger circle. I'm just going over them bit by bit as well, because sometimes the paint doesn't quite do what you want it to. So you don't have to do it in order. So you don't have to build it up that way. You can do it however you like. Sometimes actually it's good to kind of put those bigger shapes in, and then you can go back and add some of the smaller, more delicate dots. Okay. If you have any questions as we go along, feel free to add them in the chat. It says we're on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. And we're going to be doing sessions every month. So there'll be different crafts that you can get involved with. And we will be posting a few weeks in advance materials and things you need. So if you want to join in and you haven't got access to those materials, you can get in touch with us and we'll send you a little craft parcel. There you go, so you can see how I've done that. Okay. I'm going to wipe off that excess because I know I'm going to pick up that paintbrush and I'm going to get covered in paint, which is a standard for me, if I'm honest. Okay. But you might have seen when we've done like posts and things, I share if I get my phone. We've got lots of pictures. So you've got some of these like circular ones as well. So you can create your design. So imagine like this is just part of the piece of the puzzle. So this is sort of, if I'm looking on your phone, there you go, you've got those circular designs. So you can have it, so you can following those lines. So you're going bigger and smaller and bigger and smaller. You can do it however you like. Okay. You can do it so like you have bigger circles and you've got lots of little dots going around it. However you like. So you can, again, there's no right and wrong, which is what I love about art. So I think I'm going to make this ready colour lighter. I'm going to go in, mix in the colours. And a big thing with crafting as well, we just have a little check-in with each other. So I hope you're all doing all right and you're having a good week. I think it's nicest to check in with each other. So I think I'm going to use this tool again. I'm just painting the excess on here. So what I'm going to show you now is kind of that having a bigger dot and then doing things around it. Okay. So the purpose of the session today is me showing you lots of different ways of doing it. It might not be that we finish everything in an hour, but you can carry on anytime you like. And I always encourage people to share what they make. So I'm going to have a look at my piece. I think I'm going to go about here. And I'm going to make quite a big circle. I might need a bit more paint. And see how I go. Just want the edges. So you see I've got quite a big circle there now. I'll try and make this as even as possible. Just that nice circular motion. Quite a relaxing thing. And kind of what I was saying earlier about the repetition. There is actually something research-wise, but also on a personal level, that actually doing things that are repetitive is actually really good for your mental health and well-being. That repetitive action becomes like a calming action. Just getting to get the edges. So I'm just painting the end of my tool. Sometimes you just get a little bit better distribution of the paint. Just going to go right on the edges. There we go. So I've got this nice solid circle now. So then what I'm going to do, so I'm going to use that as kind of like my base. Okay. So I'm going to use a smaller tool. Let's go for one of these. Or if you haven't got one of these, toothpicks work really well for this, because you can kind of create little dotty shapes. Okay, so use a little tool. And all I'm going to do is going to follow the shape. I'm going to start at the top. And again, you can decide whatever pattern you want to do. You can make it so it goes like small and goes bigger and then small again. You can do it so it's all small, whatever you want to do. Okay. So I'm going to do 2 small. I'm going to go 2 either side. So then we want to increase the size. Ooh, tools are running away. So I'm going to use the end of my paintbrush. I'm just going next to it. You see that the size of the dot is just increasing. Okay. So I'm mirroring that on each side. And if you have like these bits where you've got excess paint, that's fine. Actually, you get that a lot in those designs. And what you can do is let it dry, and then you get a little bit of texture as well, which I think I quite like. Okay, so I've got those going around. Now I'm going to go all the way around. I'm going to start to increase the size. So I'm going to still use the end of the paintbrush, but this time I'm just going to spread it out a little bit more. It just increases the size of the dot. So you can, like, so these dotting tools you can buy online, or like most of crafty sort of stores. But you don't necessarily need the tools. You can find other things around your home, like I've suggested. But they're just like the particular tools for doing sort of the dot art. Okay. So you can see if, just put that down a minute, starting to increase. And then I'm going to decrease, and then I'm going to do some big ones. Yeah. Then I think what I'm going to do, choose this one. I always quite like that about doing art that's kind of a little bit improvised, is that you can find stuff around your house and finding out actually what you can use and what you can, how you can be a bit creative in a different way. think I'm going to use that tool a bit later. I think that's going to be a bit too big around the area. So use that on later. Don't waste it. I'm just going to use this tool and go round in a circle so I get a bigger shape. Okay, and if you get ones that aren't perfect, don't worry. It's part about the experience of it, having a go, that sort of thing. Okay. All right, just wiping off the excess. So if you then created some new rows, you can always, if you want a bit more guidance, you can add those lines in. It just kind of guides you along the way. I find if you have those lines, you just kind of find that you got a little bit more precision. So I've got those. I've got this central piece here. So I think I'm going to follow some red down here. So I'm going to go this. I'm going to give it a little twist. Okay, so I've got a big red dot. I'm going to mirror that up here. You find a lot with the mandala patterns, a lot of symmetry, a lot of kind of building up those designs, a lot of repetition. So you're starting to build up your design. So there's no right and wrong. I'll give it a twist. Okay. Go all the way down here. So find if you've got like some bigger, bolder shapes, and then you can kind of work around those sometimes. Gives you a little bit of structure, if you like. So I'm gonna let's get some of the excess of this, and then I think I'm going to go for the yellow, that mustardy colour, and have some bigger shapes of those. I'm going to go in between. It just gives you some focal points, gives you some things to work around. What I love about art is you can't get it wrong. Absolutely not. Make it so it matches. There we go. There we are. So got those bold shapes. Quite like having some bold shapes in there. I'm going to leave that there. I think we need a bit of variation of colour. So I'm going to mix up, oops, chucking it about. Okay. Dun, dun, dun. Here we go, keep mixing it around, creating some different variations of colours.
Oh, it's still going. Oh, please.
Yeah. So I'm going round these bigger shapes. I'm just going around this shape here, some smaller circles.
That's Sophia, and she's our creative counsellor. So she's online doing something like that. She's online face-to-face, but she's like art therapy.
Dotting all the way around, I'm using the same size this time. Kind of remind me of a little sun. So I'm just mixing it around here so I'm getting the paint on it. So I hope everybody's getting on all right. Let us know how you're doing. Okay, so we've got a little sun type. And again, you can always build from these different points that you make. So I know, because we've got about 20 minutes, I'm not going to finish this today online with everybody. But over the week, I'm going to add little bits to it and I'll share that with you. I think it's nicest to share what you make. And as you guys might have gathered, I like a bit of art. I like a bit of crafting. I definitely find, from a personal perspective, it's really good for my mental health. Everybody has those things that help them. And being creative, doing arty things, really supports my mental health. Just gives me that time and space just to do. And it gives your brain that kind of time just to think about something different. For me, anyway. I know for some people, the idea of crafting is like, no, not crafting. But they have things that work for them. I think that's the big thing for me, is finding what works for you. Oh, that's really nice, Michaela. So Michaela has just said on Facebook that she agrees it's a really nice first time doing it. Oh, well, I'm really glad you're enjoying it. It's nice to have new people join us. There we go. I've got some little suns going on. Ooh, covering myself in paint. Shock collar, everybody. If you ever watched me do Crafternoons before, you know I always get covered in the craft supplies. It's like a thing. Right. I will wash my hands properly later, just so I don't cover myself in it even further. So we are... Let me have a think. feel like we should maybe include some white. I need a different colour. Or maybe do some light green. Okay, so I'm going to some white, bit of green. Oh yeah, that's going to give us a bit of contrast. So you see I've just got this green in here. I like a bit of contrasting colours. Okay. Don't worry, we'll wash up everything at the end. They won't stay like that, promise you. Look, you can lift my car. All the paint. Right, big tool. We need some more paint. Bit more green. So we're getting there, building up. Can I get small tool? Go in between. Mix some more up. Nothing worse than running out of paint halfway through. Not too much that one. You're going to see it's starting to build up. I just need to end up some of these. Might go dark green. I'm just going dark green round these yellow ones. Going back over some of them, just trying to get as even as possible. Sometimes it's a bit tricky because it just likes to blob out. Almost at the end of the throat. Okay, you can see building up. Oh, I missed the middle one out. How rude of me. Going to get a smaller one. Tell you what, I'm going to get this toothpick. Get some white. I think. Just going to go opposite dots. I'm going on the red. I might do, I think I'm going to take a pause from mine, because sometimes, I don't know about you guys, sometimes you have to take a break. Sometimes I feel like you're not quite getting where you want to be. I might go over those bits that I've just done. I'm not quite happy with those bits. That's okay. Again, that's part of the process. You don't always have to be 100% happy with everything. And sometimes things don't quite work out how the way you want it. But that's part of the process. It's about having to go, seeing what you like, what you don't like. So I'm going to go over these. I'm not keen on those white dots. See, even me showing you how to do these things, I changed my mind. So I'm going to make these bigger as well. Again, with art, you're allowed to change your mind. It doesn't always have to be what you think it was going to start off as. Making that one really big one. Increase this one as well. So I'm mindful we've only got a couple minutes left. And obviously, I know I haven't finished, but that's okay. I think what I am going to do, get my red and neaten this up. So I need to line. Okay. Just going to tidy this up around. There we go. So I'm going to leave that there, I think. So I'm going to leave mine for the time being. Add a little bit more to it as and when I get some time. But I do try and make some time. But hopefully you've had a little go. Please do share your creation as and when you finish it. And next month we'll be doing a different craft. I will be sharing that hopefully later this week. So I'm planning something different. So the idea is with our monthly Crafternoon is we're stepping up our skills as well. So we're going to be doing some sewing. We're going to be doing some, trying to think what else I've got planned. Thinking. Because I've got all these things planned. Lift that up a minute. Bear with me 1 minute, lovely people. Trying to not get paint all on me. Because I've got them all planned. Oh, we've got some candle making, got some quilling, we've got a bit of macrame, We've got some hair scrunch making. I've even planned up until Christmas. So lots of things to look forward to. But as I said before, I'll be posting the materials that you need beforehand. If you need any help with materials and resources, just let us know. We'll send you out a little crafty parcel. But until next month, guys, happy crafting, and we'll see you all soon. Take care, everybody. Bye.